So this is the third part in the 4-part series on the idea behind the heyFinance. If you've not watched the first two, those will be very, very critical if you are going to be able to follow through with this one. So please check it out. I'm going to link it just below. And in the first one, we talked about the core pillar behind heyFinance. The second one, we talked about track financial goals. And in this one, I'm going to be talking about understanding your spending, right? And this is going to be a 3-part discussion. The first one, which is the very basic part of understanding your spending on heyFinance, is linked to the core pillar, where we said transactions are linked to everything, right? So your transactions are linked to your category. And if you remember, we had different transactions: salary, rent, wedding gifts, debt payments, water bill, internet. So this was like you receive expected money, right? Based on this, it's already clear how the money was spent. So this is like the basic form. You already know how much went to rent, debt, and the rest, right? Then the second part of this is a little bit more advanced, but not advanced at all, where you have a budget, and we said you make your categories the atom. So rent was rent, water bill was water bill, internet was internet. But in the budgets, we had the housing budget for the month, which had rent, water bill, and internet, right? So the category is the atom. Now for the second part, note this. We are going to have 2 budgets. Number one, our monthly budget, and we had a trip to Spain, right? And these 2 happened within the month of November. Now, in heyFinance, the good thing to do here is to have 2 separate budgets. This can be anything. For a freelancer, you might be planning 2 projects simultaneously, or it might be a wedding, a friend, so you need to travel for the wedding, right? It doesn't matter. But on heyFinance, the idea is to have these 2 different budgets simultaneously. And where this becomes very powerful is now you had the trip to Spain, you had the monthly budgets. In your monthly budgets, you had budget for train, right? So transportation, train, and maybe you had I don't know, 50 euros. Trip to Spain, you also had budgets for train, and this was maybe 100 euros. Now what happens? There were 3 different transactions, right? Plus 25, sorry, no plus, minus 25, minus 50, minus 30. What you do is, don't forget, we said the transaction should be the atom, the category. Rather than saying, oh, November train, Spain train, Spain train, you just leave it as it is. So this will be train in your category, train and train. But what you do is, now remember when we talked about the first one, your transaction can be linked to different categories, different budgets, debts, receivable. What you now do is you link this transportation and say, oh, this was train, but this is linked to my monthly budget. These other 2, these 2 are linked to my Spain trip. Now, when you go to the reports, it shows you that you spent, this is 105 euros on train. Rather than panicking, because normally you will spend like around 30, 40, 50, because this was your budget. Rather than panicking and saying, oh, my train went up drastically, it also shows you, no, you don't need to panic. This train was not just train. This was your monthly budget. So this was 25 euros. This was your trip to Spain. This was 80 euros. And you know that, oh, what I need to take out of this is, for my next trip, I just need to focus on my train expense rather than panicking and thinking, oh, my budget went out of the way. So this is the second one. You separate different budgets, even when they happen at the same time. You just link the transactions as you want, and in your reports, you see how everything flows. Now, the third part of this understanding your spending, this is not yet possible, but this is like a very big idea we're thinking of. In the second video, so the video before this, we talked about tracking your goals, where you create a goal. So this was a car goal that we created, 18,000, you had saved 10,000, and it was linked to your Revolut account. So in your Revolut account, you had 20,000, but 10,000 had been allocated to your goal and the actual balance was 10,000. Now, let's say the same way you had a car savings, you were also saving for this your Spain vacation, right? And you saved 3,000 euros for this. This was also saved in your Revolut account. So allocated to goals, that will be plus 3,000, right? Then the actual, so this will be 13. The actual balance in your Revolut will now be 7,000 euros, right? So this is your actual balance. Now, when you are planning your budget to spend, it's going to ask you what is going to fund this budget. When you are planning your monthly budget, the same question, what is going to fund this monthly budget? Now, for your spend trip, you just select your goal. So this is 3,000 and you work towards this 100%. For your monthly budget, you say your Revolut, but this is the actual balance in your Revolut account. Now, where this gets very powerful is when you are planning that budget, if your expenses that you are planning to spend, your rent, your feeding, whatever it is, this is separate from your trip to Spain, right? Let's say these expenses get to 8,600. You immediately see a warning that because you have money in your Revolut account, but everything is not spendable. One is for the car, a part of it is for the car, a part of it is for the trip. It already gives you a warning that you are 1,600 euros short of this budget, right? And that is where dates comes into being. So let's say you have different expenses that will cost 6,000 before 25th. Then salary comes in on the 25th, which is another 10,000. Then you add the remaining expenses. So expenses after salary, this will be 2,600. Then the date comes in, where you can now put it that, oh, you're going to be expecting salary of 10,000, then the remaining part of the budget will be funded when the salary comes in, right? And this gives you a full picture of your plan. You're not just creating a budget, oh, this is what I want to spend, this is not what I want to spend. Everything is tied together. You have your goals, which are linked to the account. You have your budget, which is funded by your account, right? Then you have your transactions, which go into different places, trip to Spain, your monthly budget, and everything is connected that way, right? And this is the vision of heyFinance when it comes to understanding your spending, give you this holistic view of everything, right? So yeah, in the next video, I'm going to be talking about how everything connects in one place. And yeah, thank you very much and see you then. Bye.